everyone, it's Phil and Vanu back again today with the Athlete Spine, and you just saw a video from us about Cole Lewis, who had a spine fracture that was treated non-operatively. And today we're going to talk about Big E, who's a wrestler, WWE, who has had problems actually healing his spine fracture.
Yeah, and this is an interesting story, right? I mean, a lot of our videos are based on injuries that have just happened and sort of discussing them. You know, Big E's injury was 4 months ago. And, you know, from what we've been told, it's a C1 fracture and a C6 fracture, both in the cervical spine. And he actually provided us with an update on social media now 4 months after the injury.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's been treated in a brace, but despite the brace, that the bone has been healing. Now, we don't know the exact details of the exact kind of fracture which can affect the healing, as some parts of the bones heal less reliably than others. But what we do know is that despite bracing treatment, that this has not gone on to heal, and this has kind of limited his ability or delayed his ability to come back to play.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about fractures, right? Because a fracture and healing isn't necessarily black and white. It's not either fixed or healed or not fixed or not healed. There's this spectrum that we talk about.
Yeah, so bones, in an ideal situation, the bone unites with more bone, and so you basically are back to new once a fracture is healed. We do know that in some situations and in some bones more than others, that you can get what are called fibrous unions, and what that basically means is that the bone heals with scar tissue. In most situations, that's actually fine.
Yeah, but like you and I, if we had this fracture and we had a fibrous union, I think we'd start going back and doing everything in life again, right? As surgeons, right, our activity level for our jobs isn't so much that the fibrous union can't tolerate it.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, as long as we don't have pain, you know, fibrous unions can actually result in not having any pain. But as long as we're not having someone grab our head and neck and throw us around the operating room,
hopefully not,
we can go back to operating, you know. But Big E is not in that situation. You know, he's got to have a stable neck to be able to go back to his job.
So I mean, it sounds like the plan for him was actually returning back to the brace for, you know, an undetermined, we don't know about how long, but I think they're going to get a repeat CT scan in a few months. And the CT scan, as we talked about, is sort of the best imaging study to assess for bone fusion. But certainly when it comes to return to play for Big E, you really want to see a nice fusion mass, and that bone is very well healed in that CT scan.
Yeah, and so if we take a step back and think about what are the options now that he has in terms of trying to get this to heal so that he can return to play, you know, one thing is make sure from a metabolic standpoint that there's nothing in his body like low vitamin D levels or low calcium levels or something else that's slowing his healing of his bones. Other things that can be done are use of a bone growth stimulator, which sometimes is a device that's utilized that has some data to help with bony healing. And then a treatment of last resort is surgery. Sometimes fractures that aren't healing need additional stability to try to get them to heal, and those are reserved for the refractory cases where something's not healing despite all other measures that have been tried.
Yeah, so even though, you know, Big E comes out and says, hey, the fracture isn't fully healed at 4 months, you know, we'll see that from time to time. And so the bottom line is, hey, some fractures may take more time to heal than others, and we have several treatments that we can actually sort of go after or follow through with when the situation happens. But you know, continuing to wait and give time for the bone to heal is certainly a very reasonable option. So we'll keep you updated as soon as we hear more on this injury as well. So
until next time, it's Phil and Vanu. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram. Take care, guys.
See you later.